see all three, Rich?
Yeah, we do it. Yeah, we live.
When you come to Elevation Barbershop, man, we're gonna have a high chair. You sit up in the high chair for the high chairs out the back. Platform chair.
What's up? You ready?
What's up? Yeah, I'm ready.
We live.
We live? What's up, everybody? We here live, Barbershop Talk once again. Man, we excited tonight. We got one of the homies in the house, the pastor, Pastor McGhee. Well, I got two pastors. I keep forgetting you a pastor.
Yeah. Just like I forgot that pink shirt.
Oh, here you go. I ain't gonna start already. Hey, this was not coordinated.
It was not at all.
It's just I don't know what it was, but hey, man, we're glad to be here.
I thought it was for Father's Day. I ain't know Easter, but
come on, man. Come on, man. 2 for 10. Real men can wear pink.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
I got plenty up. I just didn't think we were gonna wear the shirt. Hey, but on a serious note, man, we're glad to have y'all here. First time, appreciate everybody else who in the barbershop.
Oh, yeah.
First time in the barbershop where we had other people that's in here also. So appreciate getting back to some normalcy with COVID and everything else. But just glad to be here, man. Glad to have everyone on Facebook Live. If you would like and share it.
Yes,
share it with someone now. We really want to dig into, this Sunday coming up is Father's Day.
Absolutely.
Probably the most disrespected holiday of all.
For real.
All the year.
For real.
We want to dig into what fathers are, the importance of it, and what it means to be a father. All three of us up here are fathers. So my greatest title outside of husband is father.
Yes, sir.
I love my kids, and we do anything I can for them. So that's definitely something we wanted to dig in today. So again, like my boy Chad say, we're glad to have Darrick with us on tonight.
Yep.
It elevates our
here we go. It brings us up out the slow a little bit.
We get some $50 words.
Yeah.
We won't sound so bad tonight when he start
articulating.
As I matriculate. Hey, so we got Darrick with us tonight, and so we're glad to have everybody else in here. So, hey, if you got any questions, just jump on our Facebook, Barbershop Talk Live, chime in, and we're going to get started. So, what's the first thing we want to deal with? First of all, go ahead.
Well, I think since we do got a guest, we know Darrick and everything. But I think we're going to give him the floor, let him introduce. I know a lot of people in this community know who you are, but maybe some of our followers don't know who you are. Just give them an idea of who you are. I know you're a cool pastor, but go ahead and let them know your background.
So, grew up in Los Angeles, California, moved to Tallahassee in '96 to go to FAMU. Husband of one, father of two, met my wife in college. We're college sweethearts. A 15-year-old son, 11-year-old daughter. Pastor church that we planted almost 11 years ago, Bible-based church. In addition to that, also worked in the political process in Tallahassee. And I work on my own executive coaching business, man. So just love to have fun, love to laugh, man. So all of the joking about the pink shirt don't bother me. Increase the swag.
Yeah,
big USC Trojan fan, the best team in the world.
Oh, okay. All right, you're a Florida boy now. You're a Florida boy.
You're going to represent USC now. You got to do that.
All the way.
Well, like Richard said, we're gonna dive into talking about some things. Father's Day is coming up, and one thing that you and I do a lot is talking about men being men. Okay. One thing we want to do tonight is highlight men that are doing what they're supposed to do. We can talk all the day about those who are not standing in the paint, those who ain't working those, but we're going to talk about some that's doing what they're supposed to do a little bit. I'll start off and we'll get all our perspectives, but I have a thing in my life where I try to ride into 3 P's. And the 3 P's is be a provider for my family, be present, and what was the other one? Say, you tell Avery I'm in the 3 P's. Provider, present, and positive. Because you can always bring the negativity in or whatever. And I just think it's important for us. And a lot of times we always talk. I'm coming from an African American father perspective. I know for myself, I did not have a father in the home to learn how to be a father, but I knew everything that I wanted my child to have. And it's a lot of guys that I have connected in my life that they're doing the same thing like me. They grind to take care of their family, be there for the kids, you know, trying to make them have a better life. So I want to tap in that. What's some things on the positive side of being a father, African American for one? And I don't know if that makes a difference, but I think it makes a difference.
I think it makes a big difference because we're so much portrayed as not being there.
Yeah.
And we're absent when we're probably one of the main ones that are actually in our children's lives. So of course it's always portrayed as the deadbeats. Right. We always hear about those that are not doing. So a lot of times we're not getting the pub, and you know, as a father, it's a thankless position.
Yeah,
correct.
You see what I'm saying? You put it this way, we'll never be on the level with Mother's Day.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Put it away. I guarantee you, Sunday, you can go anywhere you want to eat,
brother,
and be able to get in. Now, Mother's Day, that's different. That's different. As a father, you know, you might end up on your own grill, cooking your own steak.
On Father's
Day. They buy the steak from Publix and they have you cook it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they tell you Happy Father's Day. So we understand it's a thankless position, but I believe, and I am of this perspective, that it is the most important. It is the most important position within the family because it's the head.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It is the head. And when the head is not where it's supposed to be, that's why the body is so much out of line. Everything else falls in line with the head.
Yeah.
So it is the enemy's job to keep the father, the head figure, the man, out of pocket, so it keeps everything else in disarray.
Yeah.
Like you said something, my dad was always present in my life. My dad, I grew up in the home with him. He taught me certain things. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. He talked to me ad nauseum to the point I didn't want to hear his voice. You know, I done had a flashlight and we shot it up and he'd be like, boy, you know. So I done all of that.
Right.
But I appreciate that now.
Yeah.
Even the more having my dad in my life, as well as in my friends. Some of my friends whose dads were not there, when they came around me, they got dad.
Right.
Because my dad was dad to everybody. You see what I'm saying? He didn't. If you came in the yard, or you came in that house, or you rode in the car with me, you got the same. You fall under that same umbrella as dad. So it is important in our community that we get back to, because we get to the point where it is almost glorified not to have a father at home. It's almost glorified to not have a man around. It's almost glorified that, you know what, I got baby mamas, but we ain't got no actual fathers. I'm no one's baby father. Right. You see what I'm saying? I'm father to all three of my kids. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that title, I did not want. I don't want the title. I don't care nothing about it. Even when I wasn't married and had my first child, I still was no one's baby father, because I went to all the appointments. I paid the bills. Y'all talk to me now. We did everything that went along with it.
Everything.
Before I even said I do, I was doing. So I was never considered a baby daddy because I'm the child's father.
Yes, sir.
So even if me and my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, if we would have not made it, she was assured of that she never have to worry about me being a father to my son. Never had to worry about it. Never thought twice that if we don't make it, then all of a sudden that my son was going to be without. My son was going to have, because I was brought up that you're worse than an infidel. That's the Bible. That when you don't take care of your own. You know what I'm saying? How as a dad, you can see a child look like you, talk like you, walk like you, and not provide the things that child needs. Even if you didn't have that, you ought to know how that felt.
Yes, sir.
There it is. For me, man, so I'm the youngest of two, and racial with my father fluctuated. I know my dad my entire life, but it was up and down. I went through phases, especially before college, man, where, you know, there were phases I really just despised my dad. When I'm around. And it was challenging, right? Because my grandfather was the model of man I wanted to be. My grandfather had always kids by the same woman. Married 58 years before my grandmother died. I mean, everything he did, I wanted to do. Like, he literally, to this day, man, I get emotional talking about how great of a man he was. And so I went through a phase, man, especially in high school, man, literally where I didn't want to be around my dad. He would come in the room, I walk out the room, and I want to be around him. The power of forgiveness is so awesome, right? My dad and I have a relationship now. They actually live in Tallahassee. We tend to spend some time with them, help them out in a great way. God of grace, man. But when my wife and I found out we were having our first child, found out it was a boy, in all honesty, I cried. I didn't cry tears of joy. I actually cried because I didn't want to have a son. And here's why. And I love my son now. And my son bears my name, man, and he's one of my pride and joy. So it's not a knock on him. But my fear was I didn't want to continue the generational curse that I had experienced growing up. So the thought of having a son to me was scary because, for one, I didn't know who I was, right? And I was grown. My wife and I were married. I didn't know who I was. So now the thought of raising a young man, to be raising a boy to be a man was scary for me. And then I remember when the lady announced we were having a son, the nurse tech, my wife grabbed my hand, looked at me, and she said, you can do this. We can do this. And those words meant something to me, but she'll never understand what that feels like. And Ash made a good point, man. I remember what I didn't have growing up. And so I wanted to make sure my son had those things. But here's the one thing I knew I could give my son. If I couldn't buy him anything else, I could give him my present. I was going to be there. So, you know, one time I was in a conversation with somebody, and the lady made a comment. She was like, she said, so when your wife goes to the store or go out of town, you keep your son. I said, hey, ma'am, I ain't his babysitter, I'm his daddy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to ask me to keep my son, it's my son. But that comment to me reminded me of the opposite of what I grew up. My grandfather was present. Now listen, he had some challenge, don't get me wrong, but all his kids looked like him, they bared his name. My grandfather instilled in me the pride of your child bearing your last name and telling you what that name meant. And so imagine that growing up in a situation where I was surrounded by women, right? A lot of aunts and had my mom and them. And but my grandfather's point was, I'm gonna raise my grandsons to be men. Yeah. Right? Teach them how to stand on their own 2 feet, things of that nature. So with my son spending time with him, looking at the world through his lens, I'm blessed to see some things, man. I've grown in that regard, man. But it was a scary situation because when you don't have that consistency growing up, you don't have that person sowing into you, speaking into you, building you up. Now you have your own, right? I mean, everywhere I went, my son wanted to go. And to this day, he still wants to go. And one of my greatest blessings, my son is 15, and he still declares that I'm his hero. He still wants to spend time with his dad. Right? That's a great blessing. But it's a scary situation also, too, man, because in today's time, I told my son, you're already starting out with 2 challenges. You black and you a male. So to some people, they're already afraid of you just for those 2 things alone. So we gotta make sure we instill in you. But for me, man, fatherhood is so key. Even in our system in government, man, the way the welfare system is set up, a woman loses her eligibility for government housing if she has an able-bodied man living with her. You're basically telling her, we want to keep the family divided. Right? My wife and I, when we started dating, I only saw one model of a man with a woman. In love, having kids. That was my grandparents. And I had uncles who had a lot of kids, things of that nature. And so, for me, it took more to be faithful to my wife because I saw the model of balancing multiple women. I'm like, I don't want that stress. So then when my son came along, it was like, okay, man, now even if y'all don't work out, right, you got to make sure that you're doing right here. And then when you give your son your name, the big question is, okay, you gave him your name. What does your name stand for? That became a big thing. Your son bears your name, you bear your dad's name. That means something. To me, it's a pride and joy giving him my name. And then when he started getting older, I realized, okay, what does that name mean? Is he going to be proud to be able to declare what his name is? Those are challenges, man. But I'll tell you, brother, for me, fatherhood, I wouldn't trade it for anything else, man. It's one of the greatest joy. And then to be a father of a boy and a girl. And then realizing with my daughter, if I fail as a father, then I basically set her up, be looking for love in all the wrong places. And so I got to make sure I'm always on guard, protecting her, teaching her how to be treated by a man, making sure that I'm caring for her the right way, setting a bar very high.
And one thing you said about that, man, you guys, as a father, it is our responsibility, especially to our daughters, to spoil them.
Absolutely,
you
man.
know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, spoiling of them is showing them what is expected. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
My daughters, from the time they were little, they didn't count money. Do all that because I didn't want my daughters for some dude to pull out $100 bill and blow her mind.
Exactly. Now they,
you know what I'm saying? Some joker on there take a picture with looking stupid. You know, it's stupid to them now because they don't counted that kind of money. So that kind of money don't phase them. Or staying in a nice hotel or riding in a nice car. My thing is, I told my oldest daughter, I remember I dropped her off somewhere to get her hair done, and before she got in the car, I said, "Do you think I had you staying like this?"
There you go.
And she's like, "No, do you think I had your mama living like this?" No. I said, so remember that.
Exactly.
Remember that. Go in there, get your hair done. But remember, but I put you in this kind of predicament. And as a father, it is our responsibility to our daughters because you know, to our kids, period, that they get well balanced.
Yeah.
One thing I say about our sons are not lacking from the lack of mother.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Mothering, they're not lacking with that. They lacking with some father.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I deal with grown men. I remember I had a guy man to serve some child support papers. His mama called me and said, I'll pick him up. And I was like, what you mean you'll pick him up? They his child support paper. What in the world are you picking him up for? She was like, you sound like my husband. I said, well, maybe you need to listen to your husband.
Right.
It's a grown man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up, you know, which now is like foreign. You know what I'm saying?
Very
You know what I'm saying? I'm old fashioned, male show, whatever these new women want to call it now, whatever.
Right.
I grew up where if someone knocked on the door, nobody moved. My dad answered.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
My dad answered
That's
the
right.
door. So if anything coming through there, it's going to first deal with me.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember one of the young ladies at work, little college student, she would come and say, I would hold the door. You don't have to open the door for me. I was like, hush and get on in the door. So, you're not going to stop me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But see, you know, I can open my own door. And no one says you couldn't open your own door. But the father figure in me was like, how in the world I look like going in here and slamming the door on you or whatever. No, you go ahead. You can go ahead. It still works. You know what I'm saying? Chivalry is not dead.
Right.
And we need to show our daughters that no, this is what you expect. No, if a joker ain't working, if he ain't got nothing going on, when we were coming up, you ain't have no lady. Now, I guess that makes you like the number one on the list or something. Girl, I want a man who can spend all day with me. That must mean he ain't working.
Working at all. He ain't working at all.
He ain't working. He ain't working. And I bet you this. That's gonna get old fast.
Yeah. At least
I promise you that.
At least they were driving through. You know you at work at McDonald's. They'll drive through the drive-through to see you or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You at work.
Yeah. You know that was a brag to even your mom and them.
Yeah.
He got a little job. Yes, sir. Now you tell me, and don't get wrong, our sisters work.
Yeah.
Our sisters go to work.
Yes, sir.
He do, and a lot of these mamas, they got these boys spoiled, boy.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, grass this high.
Yeah.
Buy that jumper one of them push lawnmower. What you got a 17-year-old son in there until my grass need to be?
Yeah.
Man, you better teach that jumper. Hey, son, put the
Yeah.
wheel on
Yeah.
his side.
Yeah.
I mean, my daddy showing me that.
Right.
By the time I can look over a lawnmower, my daddy tell, hey, you see that wheel? Keep that there.
on
Come
that
back down the
back.
other end.
Yep.
Take that one, put it here. You know what I'm saying? And I taught my son the same thing.
Right,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Certain things are just enabled that you just have to instill in that we're missing out on because the father's not there. And I understand, fellas. I know the fellas don't time in like the women do on this.
Right.
But I understand, fellas. You can have the baby mama from hell, but you slept with her for at least 5 minutes.
Come on, bro. Come on.
So you got to deal with that.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
You got to deal with that.
Come on.
You got to. That's consequences of your actions.
That's it.
But you got to deal with it.
Right.
And one thing about it, you got to man up, deal with what you got to deal with. But that don't mean the kids should not lack for anything, man.
That's right. That's right.
And I also will say this. You know, when we was talking about being present. See, a lot of people think to a child or a kid that it got to be the big things, the Jordans, what. Tell me if y'all, I remember this. I remember going to the Tallahassee airport with a bag full of, not cheeseburgers, hamburgers, pork, and watch the planes come in and land and take off, and that was the biggest weekend ever. Huh?
Yeah, because who you was with?
But no, you got mine was out. But my point is, my point is,
Still a good point, though.
My bad.
it don't take all of that.
It wasn't that. I was going to say something.
But the point is, it ain't all about the financial side of things with kids.
And it don't get me wrong, it takes money, but you know as well as I do, some of the things you remember the most didn't cost anything.
It costs nothing.
It ain't cost anything. Your time with your kid or the disappointment of seeing a child. You ever been to, we all got kids now.
Yeah.
You ever been to the school where they bring the parents and it be that one kid that don't have a parent there?
Nobody.
Dude, that hurts, bro.
Yeah.
It hurts you, and that ain't even your kid. You know, your kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It costs you nothing to show up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember Florida, y'all know Florida State my team.
Yeah.
It's kind of I remember I went to a senior day back when it was bad. I'm talking about when Jimbo was leaving. It was bad. Senior day. And to see young men out there who done made it to D1 for senior day and have nobody
Wow.
showed up for that kid, for his senior day,
Wow.
to walk out there with him on that field was utterly, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And people don't understand, because I remember, you know, when I was in high school and it's senior day and everybody's mom and dad and then my mom in a single parent household, she had to be at the job.
That's right.
So, you know, and I walked out there by myself, so I know the feeling of that. And I mean, I'm not obsessed with it, but I did a post the other day. Like, my daughter asked her daddy, will you, you know, put some eye stuff on my eye and put
Yes,
them
yes, I will.
And before I even thought, go get the thing, come on out here.
And
things you do for your daughter, man. Things you do for your daughter.
And she and the thing about it, she'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember one year. I didn't get my daughters anything for Valentine's Day. Right. So I'm sitting there, and my oldest came in there. She said, "Dad, I'm gonna sit with you." I said, "What's up?" She said, "You didn't get me anything for Valentine's Day, and you always get us something for Valentine's Day."
Right.
And I had to tell him I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I thought about it, I'm like, I ain't finna go get nothing. You know, but she came in there and told me, she said, you know, when she was already out of high school, she was like,
Set a standard,
yeah,
bro.
she was like, you know, Dad, I'm kind of upset by that.
Right.
Because you used to get us something.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. You see what I'm saying? Because that meant something to her dad. Regardless if they don't say anything, like you say, being present.
Yes, sir.
Being present in your kid's life, man, means a whole. Put it this way, when a black father shows up to the school,
There it is.
and it's not football, it's not basketball. When he show up for the parent-teacher conference, and you sitting there, bruh, you make folks sit up and pay attention.
It's funny you bring it up, man. I had a chance to chaperone one of my son and one of my daughter's trips. And I'm the only dad on the trip, right? Only one. So, you know, the kids doing little things. You sitting at the picnic table with other parents, which is all moms, and they almost interviewing you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's my son, or whoever trip it was, my daughter. And they looking at me like,
This is
as if black kids don't come from super households, right? And so I'm noticing, I'm enjoying this whole moment. I'm enjoying this whole moment. And my wife and I went to college together, we were college sweethearts, whatever it be. But it was interesting, they gave me a look like they had never seen that before. Or taking your kids to school. Or picking your kids up from school, whatever it may be, and they see them. I learned this. Your children carry a different confidence when they know you got them.
Yes, sir.
Right? So imagine, talk about from a daughter standpoint. If somebody bothering your daughter, right? She knows, no matter what, Daddy gonna have my back. He gonna cover me. Now, mama get the credit. I get it. First thing they always say, boys in the camera say, "Hi, Mom."
Yeah.
Right. But there's a grind that's happening, and for all of us, man, some of us we're not being deadbeats.
Yeah.
We're literally there. We're grinding to be there. We're actively trying to be there. And there's some men in my church, man.
Right.
I got one brother. I'm not gonna mention his name on camera. This brother went through 2 years of the court system fighting for custody of his son. Literally, they found the mom to be unfit. He fought 2 years. Before they gave him his son, every other month he was getting visited by DCF just to make sure he was fit to take care of his child. Because they said it's uncommon for a man to be this aggressively pursuing raising his child. He had a son. And he said, my son needs his father. My son needs his father. And I watched this praying with him, talking to him. I remember him crying at times, man, because they made it so hard. And he said to me, he said, Pastor, it's almost as if they want my child to be in the system than with his own father. They asking them how you making money, are you a drug dealer, all that type of thing. Legit businessman now. But what it is our system is designed in that manner. And so when they Ash do right, Chad do right, I do right, they want to highlight somebody else. I worked the other day, the rapper NBA Youngboy, you know he in jail right now. Dude, 21 years old, got 7 kids. Wow. If you research 21 years and 7 kids, right? One of the star rappers out there right now. 7 kids at 21 years old. He's right now 21 with 7 kids. Talking to my son about that, I said, man, I was like, dude, let's do 21. I mean, he started early, right? Now he got money, so he got money, it's cool. So the baby mamas, 18, 19, so 20 baby mama, one of them actually is Floyd Mayweather's daughter. She facing jail time because she stabbed another baby mama because she said he loves me more.
Wow.
But when you set a standard, your daughter knows, listen, man, I
don't care nothing about that.
He can be listening at me like my daddy raised me to be up here.
Right.
We don't get credit for that, but they know. They absolutely know. So that dude who come to your house and don't know how to look you eye to eye,
you got to replay that stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell that story again, Rich. The one where you were like, you don't care about my house.
You told me that same story.
And my point is, man, it's like this here, man. I take your 3 P. Mine is provider, protector, and priest.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I take protection
That's right.
dead serious.
Yeah.
I take protection of my kids dead serious, bro. I'm telling you, I don't play about my kids. My dad did the same thing. He said you can talk about me and all that, but you would not. I promise you, you would not bother my kids or my wife. You know what I'm saying? But the point was you have to see what everybody else is now calling old school used to be the norm.
Yeah, bro. There it is.
It used to be if you said you was talking to this girl, you had to meet her family.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
You had to man up as a boy and go and meet their family.
Yeah.
You had to do that, and their daddy had to sit there and look you over.
That's right.
Your daddy know you. You know we see it. We hate you. I don't like none of y'all talking. I don't like none of y'all. Because I don't care how good you're sitting there talking. This is my daughter. But it was a respect that you got from a dad.
That's right, bro.
You see what I'm saying? And I tell any lady, even if you're not with him, run stuff by the dad. Do not hide stuff from the head. That is that child. When things going in that child life, that father need to know. Even if you don't want to talk to him, we text about everything else. Hey, your daughter want to go to the prom with some boy named Scooty D.
That name by itself frustrates me.
See what I'm saying? He needs to be involved. Put it away where it won't be no excuse.
Yeah, bro.
Cut all excuses out. That you gonna be present. I'm gonna make sure I send you everything that's going on. Your son messing up in school. You know what? I ain't going out there no more. I'm gonna call your daddy. Hey, put it this way,
bro.
My mama had the greatest line in the world. She didn't have to whoop us. She didn't have to raise up for her. All my mama had to say was, I'll tell you that. That was it. That was it. That meant something. And that's what our kids are lacking now is that presence, that father presence. Now some dudes, a lot of these kids see a lot of guys. A lot of these kids done seen a lot of dudes.
A lot of uncles.
A lot of jokers that stay until the night comes. You know what I'm saying? Sneaking out in the morning. And these kids ain't dumb. They know you've been there all night. They know what's going on. So they done seen a whole lot of guys, but they ain't seen a father. You see what I'm saying? Somebody that's going to be there, that's going to hold them accountable. Kids want discipline. They ain't going to tell you that, but they want it. You see what I'm saying? Because it's needful. It's needful for the raise the kid the way it should go. You cannot have them doing any and everything they want. You see what I'm saying? I tell anybody, especially with a young man, it comes a certain point in time, as the old folks say, you're smelling your must. That boy going to try you. He going to try your mama. She gonna say something. You gonna know that boy gonna get big enough. Now I put it this way. I use, for example, Lil D. I've been around Lil D for probably the last maybe about
8 years.
8 years, something not longer than that. So I done seen Lil D go from the little chubby Lil D. You know what I'm saying? I chase him around and now Lil D I'm talking about he done got cut up. So if he get to the point where he don't want to hear his mama. She physically, she going to have to knock him out. She got to put something in her hand and knock him out. But one thing the blessing is, same thing I had with my son. One thing the blessing is, no, she got daddy right there. So joking, when she say do something, you better get on there and do it. It means something to have daddy there. You know what I'm saying? That keep a lot of that.
A lot of that, bro.
One of my favorite shows was Good Times. They were in the project.
James and nobody, brother.
Put it away. Y'all know as well as I do. Everybody who watching know as well as I do. The Gangster Disciples wanted.
Bro.
They wanted JJ.
They wanted them bad.
They wanted JJ. The gangs wanted JJ bad. What kept JJ out the gangs? James.
With them same corduroys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that orange on the show. but that dad there, if it was just Florida,
that's right.
She'd have lost her boys. Y'all don't see that. This was in the 70s now.
That's right.
We had on TV in the 70s a dad present.
Wow.
Find a TV show now that has a black dad present.
Wow.
We got black men on TV switching and putting on dresses.
Come on.
Where's the black father?
Yeah.
Huh? Why is he absent from the television? Why is someone else gonna took the spot and we don't see what a father's supposed to be? You can love Bill Cosby or don't love him, whatever, that is what it is, but you cannot deny seeing the Cosby Show was a great influence on the black family.
There you go. There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
I sure want my family to do
I
that.
did too. You know, it's funny you bring it up, Ash, man, because I remember you telling me a story about your mama saying, tell your daddy, you told me that time when you hear your daddy car coming down the hill. So you knew what that meant.
In about 5 minutes.
Exactly, you knew. But there was something about that. And so even to this point now, you're bigger than your dad now. But it's still a respect. I go visit my parents at their apartment, and I told my wife, I said, listen, I was like, when I walk in, I walk in there, I walk in and say, this is their place.
Yeah.
Right? I don't run my house the same way, but this is their household. Like I told you, my dad and I, we didn't have the best relationship when I was growing up. The Lord blessed through the power of forgiveness. Really close. I'm learning more about my dad now in these last 3 years, especially in these last few weeks with my dad, and I knew about my dad. We're sharing things. And what I learned about my dad is my dad was on the job learning how to be a father.
Right.
He didn't have that example. So he really was learning how to parent, be a dad to us because he wasn't taught how to be a dad.
Right.
And so things that I'm learning now makes a lot more sense now. One of the things that I've learned as a father that's very, very important is having the freedom to have your voice. Think about it, you go back to slavery, the black man was neutered by way of seeing his women get raped by the slave master and also by his voice taken away. So now, a lot of us, man, we passionate when we talk. It was guys, our passion, man, as aggression. Now we're fearful of us. So I'm learning about my father in conversations, man. The one thing I learned is when you're struggling trying to raise your family, and you're trying to do it, right? One of the hardest things, man, is to feel like you're inadequate. Feel like I'm not making it. You mentioned James. They struggle. Right. He going to work trying to make it happen. They still coming up short. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing from the child standpoint is you talk about Jay-Z, think about Michael, think about the pride you have. Because you're watching this, you're seeing this grind. Look, my son and I spend a lot of time together, so we go to Barbershop together, we have a lot of these conversations. My sons are asking me these questions, about various things, whatever it may be. And all of a sudden I say, listen, don't ask me a question you don't want me to answer. I ain't gonna give you no pastor answer, I'm gonna give you a real answer. Here's why, man, because now in my son's generation though, girls are now open to the boys now, talking about sex. And if you say, "Mom, I ain't ready for it right now," you gay? So you trying to be respectful, they're now throwing it at you. So now we having these real conversations. He's 15, dude. I would love to wait and have these conversations. It's not a reality. But here's the blessing for me is what my son said, but I'm glad you coming to me. Instead of going to your homeboy, you coming to me. So let's have a real conversation. This one now. When I married your mom, we weren't virgins. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be honest with you. But here's the great thing about it, I can be honest with my son. Number one, because I'm free with people's opinions. But number two, is I know if I lie to him, this world is gonna tell him something else. So let me be real with him and see what's going on. TJ said it this way. He said, you understand that your blessing is your children's normal. Your kids understand the struggle you've been through, right? So here's somebody now. My son has never gone to bed without eating. He's always woke up to two-parent household, or grew up in his own room, multiple shoes. He don't know what it means to wear your older brother's shoes and he don't outgrew. I lived that, right? Love my brother, don't knock on that. He don't know what that means. So his normal is a blessing. I know what it took to get there. To my son, he was born in it. He go to the refrigerator wide open, looking at it, see what to get. And my mama's house, when you did that, you got cussed out. Close my refrigerator door. But he used to that because it's normal. And so in that regard, what it also says, brothers, that we've come a long way as fathers, we're to put our kids in that situation. You talked about earlier about your daughter working 2 jobs. Well, you set an example.
Exactly.
And it ain't like having your own money. So now when somebody walk up to her talking sideways, I don't need your money, I got my own money. You know what I'm saying? My daddy showed me I don't have my own money. I know how to do right by my money. You think about your granddaughter. Think about your granddaughter. Your granddaughter is being spoiled. So now when she gets older, standard has been set.
It's already been set.
And let me say this before I pass it on, man, because I pastor young boys, and one of the things that about me, I talked about it earlier, man, is the mamas. And I'm gonna say this to women out there. Listen, Father's Day is not the time to recognize a mother who raised boys by herself. It's not your day. I commend you for what you are doing. It's not your day. But I watch sometimes how a little boy falls. My mama picking them up. He done quit the team. Mama done pampered him. Hold on now. When I was coming up, man, listen, you got cut from team.
Yeah.
You tried out.
Yeah.
You got cut.
Yeah.
Now everybody get a trophy.
Yes.
You get a certificate. Mama want to console you. No, man, you ain't preparing him for real life.
Right.
What does CC call it? Mama husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Running to mama for everything. No, man, you got to understand on your own 2 feet. I can't call my mama when I got a bill that's due. My wife ain't, what you gonna do?
Right.
You got a man to take care of this household. Okay, let's get this done. So now my son see it. So this how you take care of your people. Right? You got to be instilled in it, man. But this is our time, and I would like to see us as black men get more credit for staying.
Yeah.
Even if we say the woman, we stayed in our kids' lives. They know who we are, right? I told my wife this when we first started having our son. I said, no man will have the pleasure of having my son call him father or call him daddy. No man.
No.
If we don't work out,
No.
not going to be a man walking this earth, that's not everyone call daddy but his own daddy.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a problem because of somebody else's daddy.
That's right.
Straight up.
That's right.
And you got to
Don't be mad.
That's 100, that man.
No, bro.
And one thing, and that's one thing that kills me with. It ain't nothing wrong with you teaching, coaching all these teams. Ain't nothing wrong with you being an AAU daddy to all these other kids. But bruh, if you put it this way, if you father the year in the streets, but at home you ain't nothing, bro, nobody want to hear that crap, man. You got your kids sitting there looking like, who is this dude they talking about? We don't know them. Now you can do that in addition to yours.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? My kids knew whatever they were in. My kids at church knew whatever they was in. I'ma show up for you. I'll be there for you. You know what I'm saying? They knew even when I was working night shift. Hey, I remember one time I done been to all the basketball games. One young girl in my church, she was a city of Tallahassee cheerleader for junior league.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she came to church. I said, you ain't made it my football. I said, when you made football, you like Tuesday or Thursday, whichever one they want. Thursday, bruh. I made sure I got there, got to the fence. Made sure she saw me. I'm here. And she was happy, did her little chill. I made it to all the kids. Now, what if I did that for all the other kids and then show up for my son's game? Or then show up for my daughter's game? You know what I'm saying? So, like Darrick said, man, it ain't nowhere in the world. You know, if we don't work it out, and let's say I'm with another young lady and she got kids, I'm going to be but I promise you this. Them my kids, them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to do what you man, do what you're supposed to do there, but don't. It ain't no your kids. These kids belong to me.
Right, bro. I just, for me, just remember, like you said, when the doctor told you was having a boy. I remember the day my daughter was born.
Yeah, brother.
That was the greatest day of my life. It was a lot of responsibility in my head because I got to do this, right, I got to do it. I didn't have a father.
Yeah, correct.
I got to figure this thing out. It was the greatest thing. Like, I get my greatest joy when I go pick my daughter up and she running
to you. Oh, man. Great feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It's just hard to explain, man.
Great feeling.
You know, when I'm sitting at my chair, I'm sitting there, I'm eating pistachios. Just because it's daddy, they taste good. Daddy, can I have one? She just want it because it's daddy. It's nothing like being present.
Chad, you told me a story about when you had asked your daughter what she wanted, and she said she wanted Olive Garden. You said, hey, can we use something else tonight? You was like, well, Daddy, you said I can have whatever I want.
Everything I want.
The power of your words, right? Like, so Daddy said I can have it, so I can have it. So now it's like, you're at Olive Garden. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like because you said it, her safety, her security rests in you. I told my man at the church all the time, I said, listen, I said, what a woman wants more than your wallet, she wants the peace of mind to feel safe.
Oh yeah.
Right? That's what she wants. She wants to feel safe. So if your wife wants that, imagine what your kids want. I don't care how headstrong that woman is. I don't care when they feel scared, they're looking at you. With your kids, when my son will have nightmares, when my daughter have nightmares, they yelling across the house, Daddy. And once you say it's all right, when they hear your voice, it gives them a peace in the confidence. They know Daddy in the house, whatever that noise is, he's gonna take care of it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that when you tapping in and tapping out. When you and the mama ain't getting along, so all of a sudden now I'm gonna punish the kids. So now the kids ain't seeing you. Y'all in the same city. Your kids ain't seeing you. That don't make sense to me, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely don't make sense to me. It's already hard being black and male, or being black in general. Now you want to add to those layers.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I talk about that, man, from a law enforcement standpoint. I told Ashton I would go visit people in the jail, go minister to them. I always saw two people as I went to the jail. I would see the mama or the baby mama. They were all, one of them always be there. I remember one time I went to go visit with somebody in there, and I'm in there at the booth talking to him. Behind me, somebody else talking, and this dude is in jail now. Baby mama come to visit him. He cussing her out because when he called the night before, she didn't answer the phone. Now, right now, he in jail. She's the visitor, and he cussing her out, and she apologizing. And I'm listening to this whole conversation, like how this play out. I go out, check back out. Mama out there, crushing, man, you all right? She said, I never thought I'd see my son in here. So I said, well, man, I asked you, where's the dad at? She said, it's a long story.
Wow.
But that simply means the dad ain't around. Right? And so I'm thinking about these type of things, but there's always a story behind it. The fact of the matter, man, is we deserve to get our credit. I think about what Ash's dad, man, because of the respect he has for his father, those who are around him give the same respect to his dad. If you have homeboys who didn't have a dad growing up, your dad became their father.
And speaking on that point, I was going to move into that.
Yeah.
Two things that I think helped mold me into a man is the church and the men in the church. Okay. So, you know,
Actual men.
Don't get them started.
I know. But you know, under the same principle that we know, those men had sons.
Yeah.
When we went places, if Chad got a line, he wasn't know. Let me call your mama. It was like, hey, if he get it, you gonna get it.
Well.
And they showed me. I always said the void that was missing. That person can never fill the void of a father, but they can show kind of meet you halfway. You know, and I have like elders at my church, deacons at my church that I spent the night at their house, ate at their home, got the same discipline that I needed as a young man, because I find even as a business owner and hiring people, in my business I try to be more than just an employer.
There you go.
I try to help build men if you want to be helped.
There you go.
And I have found like some of the same stuff you say, like mama this, and I told my mama she can't throw. I said, boy, you couldn't be at Arkansas Street back in the day, because you came back and there were 4 black bags with everything you own on the board.
You're right.
And so, you know what I'm saying?
And like you say, you miss out on, you know what I'm saying. One thing that was one of the saddest things I've been involved in was having men that were facing life sentences going to trial that could not tie a tie.
Yeah, bro. Wow.
And I can remember my dad, I knew how to tie a double Windsor knot as a kid.
Yeah.
My son learned how to tie double Windsor knots as a kid. He knew how to get his tie, put it on, and could tie his tie. And he knew that.
Right.
I remember my dad teaching me, grab the tie, those look like they cost you nothing.
Right.
And so I was sitting there with grown men that needed a tie for trial and did not know how to tie. Was sitting there doing,
Grabbing it and
doing like this, like, I don't know what to do with this. And I knew what to do with it because my dad taught me. You know what I'm saying? Things that he taught me, like I had a young man the other day, I was doing an eviction, and he was like, I need a tool to take my bed loose. I said, man, every man ought to have a toolbox. Go down to Lowe's or what do you place it? A little 15-piece set.
Yep.
My dad taught me, I know what a Phillips, a flathead, you know what I'm saying? I knew what that thing was.
A butter knife.
Yes, sir. Do something.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Do something. Yeah. You come through if you need to.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? If you need to go over there, you
We're at
can.
the barbershop. Come on.
Oh.
You can come across.
If you need to go across here. Yeah, that's it.
She's gonna get on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man. But and another situation, like I was saying, he was a kid that worked for me, and he came. He said, "Boss man, I ain't never catch no chicken like that."
Wow.
I said, "You ain't never."
Yeah.
And I did something not to belittle, but to uplift.
There you go.
I took him in my bank.
There you go.
To the cashier that I know, or the teller I know. And I said, listen, this young man has never been through the process of cashing a check. Would you please just guide him through what to do? the gratefulness that I saw in that young man's face, bro.
Yeah.
So then he got out. I said, well, man, where you take my thing and put it in your wallet. He said, I don't have a wallet. I said, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, every man ought to have a wallet. I said, I might carry the load in the front, but I got a wallet.
That's right.
But man, I had a wallet brand new. Somebody had gave it to me, whatever. Brought it to work and gave it to him. So we all, we're having the experience of being fathers, being there. But a big thing to me, because I didn't have a father in the household, is those Coach Forbes, Reggie Davis. Those were, for a lot of young men like me, they was the only two professional black men we knew as teachers.
Wow.
And seeing situations where, they finna get ghetto now, and they handle themselves like professionals.
Yeah.
And we don't understand the things that we do. And I'm coming because one thing I jotted down I just asked random people, hey, we talked about fatherhood and this, that. What's something that you wanted to hear? And they were saying godfathers and stepfathers. Okay. They are important too. Because a lot of us are soldiers in the house and we gonna make sure our house is tight. But getting back to like Rich said, when you come to Rich house, this is how it is. We gotta help. We gotta help the best we can. Because my motto is, if you want to be. I always was a kid that I was hungry to want to.
And one thing I'll say about this here, Chad, who you are is gonna rub off on other folks.
Right.
I had a young man one time was in Chick-fil-A with his little girlfriend, and he's sitting there. They almost like doing like on the little commercial. They almost sharing their little vanilla shake, right? And he's sitting with his back to the door. So I walk up to him and I say, "Hey, young man, you mind if I teach you something?" And he was like, "Sure." I said, "Who just walked in the door?" You're like, "I don't know."
Never, brother.
I said, this your girlfriend?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Son, don't never sit with your back to the door."
There it is.
I said, "You're supposed to protect her, so you need to see what's coming in the door."
Yeah.
I just left Gainesville. That's why I got all the Florida State stuff on tonight.
To
remind folks that I ain't no gator by no means.
Right.
And we went to a nice restaurant with a friend of mine down there, and my wife, we walked in, and my wife's like, "He gonna sit over there."
Yeah.
There you go.
She already knew, dude. Where I said that.
I got
everything. I got everything.
And I don't
you know what I'm saying?
Standard, but my wife the same way.
Yeah, but you know, but that's that father part of it.
Right.
That, you know what? When everybody else having fun, everybody else playing, everybody else talking, I'm still watching.
Right.
My wife, we can sit there and have a conversation in a restaurant, and I be sitting there, she be talking, I be looking, and she be like, what you done? And I be watching stuff, bro.
Still talking.
Hey, still talking.
I hear you say
but I hear what it said, but I'm watching this here.
Right. That's that protection.
But always on point.
Always.
Because you know what? I remember my dad being in the house, dude. I knew when my dad was home, I slept like it was nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
I was nothing. It was nothing. I know dad him. Now my dad had to go somewhere. He was out of town. My dad would leave, and my sisters would attest it. My dad called me and he said, "Hey, are you the man of the house while I'm gone?" He said, "But you don't run your mama now."
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But you the man of the house while I'm gone.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's good. Make sure the door's locked at night. Make sure before y'all go to bed, make sure everything right.
Yeah.
You got that? I'm like, "Yes, sir." All right. I'm gonna check when I get back. You know what I'm saying? From the time I was a kid, he would tell me, "Hey, you the man of the house while I'm gone, but you don't run your mama." That was the main thing.
Right.
You don't run your mama now.
Yeah.
But he instilled that in me as a kid, to the point where now as a man, you don't certain things go bump in the night. My wife, she ain't getting up.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna, "Richard, you go find out
Right.
about him."
Handle that.
Yeah, handle
that.
Handle it. You got and believe you me, it got to get handled.
It gonna be handled at mine.
You see what I'm saying? But like you said, those are the things that our kids, if we're not careful, the security, the knowing that, hey, I don't have to care. Our kids are carrying too much.
Too much, man. Too much.
Our kids are carrying too much.
Too much.
You know what I'm saying? The things that we as men, we as fathers supposed to carry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to worry about where I'm laying at tonight.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to worry about how we gonna eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We always get into these debates where who get the big piece of chicken and all that kind of stuff like that there. Man, ain't no, I don't argue about no food, bro. I provide.
Right.
If I provide, I'm gonna eat.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
eat.
If I eat first or I eat last, I'm still providing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat.
I'm gonna eat.
That's
I
right.
don't worry about nothing. I'm gonna make sure everybody in that house eat.
That's
Right.
right.
My wife ain't never had to worry about what we gonna eat.
That's right. That's right.
She ain't never had to worry about, my kids ain't never had to worry about, is it gonna be dinner?
Yeah.
Like, they be like, what we gonna eat tonight? I said, did you eat last night? So you gonna eat tonight? You'll eat
I'm
tonight.
gonna eat something.
They know it. They know it, but that's been instilled. Like Darrick said something earlier. Our kid, like, you know, my oldest, Richard, and my middle girl, Aubrey, so they got more of the scrub.
Yeah.
See, they came along when it was a lot tighter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People talk now about how many pairs of shoes.
Yeah,
Like my youngest daughter, she'll go in there. Dad, you got such and such a pair of shoes. I said, first of all, I work.
Yeah.
Come on now.
You worry about the wrong thing. But what she don't understand is, see, my youngest one, she's 17 now. She came along when we already out in the burbs.
Yes,
There you
sir.
go, bro.
We already staying in the
Yeah,
suburbs.
yeah,
She what was it, matriculated? That's
Yeah.
she matriculated through the suburb school.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is her norm has been the blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
My older two,
They know
the struggle. They know riding in the car with no AC.
Right.
They know staying in the house with no heat.
Yeah.
See, they know the struggle.
Oh, yeah.
My youngest one, she don't know the struggle. They don't know when I had to stop buying Jordans, and I ain't buy Jordans for a whole bunch of years. Because Jordans wasn't one wasn't important.
Yeah.
What's important was making sure these kids had clothes on their back, making sure it was food to eat,
Yes.
not making sure, not worrying about me looking good. I had to make sure that the family was taken care of. See, being a dad and Father's Day ought to be, you take it last, bro.
Yeah.
You the last. We in a barbershop, which used to be the sanctuary.
Yeah.
I remember going to the barbershop with my daddy on Saturday. It wasn't nobody in the barbershop but me.
Yeah.
All day affair. You just
That's
come out,
all.
talk about
And
everything.
you're gonna hear about everything.
Everything.
It taught you how to talk.
Yeah.
It taught you how to deal with me.
How to hold that jig.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. How the drunk dude come in and all the dads be looking like, okay, Otis, are we showing out today?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You do all of that because you were with your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You learn things because you hung out with your dad. And that's what we have to get back to. And if any father, listen to me tonight, listen to either one of us tonight. If you're not in your kid's life starting tomorrow, starting tonight, I don't care what it is. Put it away. Almost all these kids got this.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Me and my son, we sit there and send each other TikTok videos
Right.
sit there laughing at
Yeah.
But it's just something simple is being present in their lives where they know, you know what? You're not gonna get the flowers,
Right.
and you're not gonna get all that kissing. But I tell you like this here, I see my dad, man, and when I see him, I shake his hand. I tell him every now and then, hey man, I didn't appreciate you being there,
That's right, bro.
being there. The things I didn't want to hear,
Yeah.
Right.
the things I got tired of hearing about, but you being there
Being there.
made me
Being
the
there.
man I am today.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And I had one of my partners, and I'll let D get in here. I had one of my partners call me. He said, hey man, I just want to tell you, man, I told your dad the other day, man, thank you. I said, what's up? He was like, I just want to tell him thank you, man, because I didn't have no dad in my life.
Wow.
He said, but because me and you were boys,
Yeah.
that meant he was in my life.
Yeah.
And I learned things on how to be a man because I hung out with you.
That's right.
So a lot of times where we lacking it is not, you don't have to do it. I told somebody else in my house, that my granddaughter will lack for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm being honest with you now.
Right.
You said stepdad, even as a granddaddy,
Yeah.
my granddaughter will lack for nothing
Yeah.
as long as I'm breathing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
She'll get everything she needs and on the male side because I'm there.
Right.
Because I'm present there, things gonna happen.
I mean, I'll tell you, man, you talk about the barbershop. My wife used to come with us to the barbershop, right? She would sit in the car.
Yeah.
She would come and sit in there. And then my daughter would come. And I told my wife, I said, I need y'all to stop coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be me and Lil D time together. We ride the barbershop. But it's an experience.
Yeah,
They know my son, his first haircut to this current in this barbershop, right? They watched him grow up. So you walk in, they joking around when they sizing him up, they kind of smell on him, things of that nature.
Yeah.
They see what you see, but it's an experience. But here's what I will tell you. it's also allowing him to be able to be in the midst of his own people having conversations about everything.
Yeah.
You go from sports to politics to Bitcoin, everything going on in the barbershop, hearing various things that take place, hearing people's struggles, whatever it may be, it's an experience. But also what he's learning is, man, it's hard being a black man.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. So sometimes it's our therapy session as well. We ain't never talking about whatever it may be, but I always find it interesting how, you gave me a story too one time, I just dealt with it recently, when you think about it. You go to the barbershop, sometimes people trying to give you the most advice ain't went through nothing. Right. You giving marital advice, you ain't even married, right? So you do, and I told my son, I said, listen, man, so you have to know how to be able to discern and utilize wisdom, right? Everybody who's giving you counsel shouldn't be giving you counsel. Now, I can say that to him out of experience, but I can't help him out if I'm going to withhold from him. Truth of the matter. Truth of the matter is, brother, we ain't always had this. I ain't always lived this way. My Uncle Floyd, who probably watching like my mom's youngest brother, he's my grandparents' youngest child. My Uncle Floyd would come over our house on Saturdays.
Come on, dude.
Come on, bro, you good, brother? Come on.
You're a superstar in LA.
Good to see you, boy. My Uncle Floyd, man, would come over the house on Saturday, man, hang out with us, wrestle, joke around, things of that nature, man. But because of that time he invested, to this day, man, I still honor and respect him. Going back to my dad, man, my dad and I were having conversations. My dad was telling me about his father, who he met when he was grown, right? Maybe one or two encounters his entire life. But it gave me an understanding more of my dad. And my upbringing. Dude, I'm 43 years old. My dad has never once whooped me. Right? And it made me wonder. I actually thought he didn't love me. You know, and he told me, he said, Darrick, I got so many whoopings growing up. I made a vow to whoop my kids. Now he did other stuff. Right? So I watched it. But then here's what I found interesting. So you talked about the church standpoint. I've been in church my entire life. Right? I'm an unapologetic church boy. I love the church. I love the black church. I love everything about it. You find the best comedy shows in the black church. Right? But also here's what I find. We had a brother at our church, Ray Simon, when I was in California. Ray Simon had his own kids. My brother tried to go to Basic Bible School. He brought us over there in his class, hung out with us. Whatever his boys had, he made sure my brother and I had the same exact thing. He made sure that nobody in the room knew our home situation. Look, my parents struggled. My mom struggled to take care of two boys, but she didn't have it all the time. So I stopped asking for certain things. I knew she just didn't have it. You mentioned earlier, sometimes we're making our kids grow up too fast. This dude like, now you got a 14-year-old boy having to work a full-time job to take care of mama. That's too much. So now these kids, they don't even know how to. So I said, man, listen, slow down. You better enjoy being a teenager. Adulthood gonna come. It's gonna come.
You can't go back being a child when you make it.
So while you can't enjoy it all that you can. But the thing I'll tell you, one of my great joys, man, with being a father, is watching the investment bring forth a return. When you're watching your kids actually walking out what you invest in them. Actually seeing them interact with people. I was telling my son this. I was telling my son, listen, man, my son, when he was talking to somebody, he had his head down. When he heard him talk, I said, listen, hold on now. You're inferior to no man. This is what I'm saying to my son. Man ain't got a foot big enough to hold me. So when a man talking to you, look at that man eye to eye. Shake that man's hand. Don't give me no fingertip handshake. Shake that man's hand with a tight grip. I said, here's why. I said, because when you walk with your head down looking at a man like that, you're giving a message to that person that you feel like you're inferior. No, that's not how we raise them. Get some bass in your voice. Be polite about it, but you have to be there to teach those lessons. Talk about the whole time. I remember my dad teaching me how to tie a tie. It took a long time. I didn't get it right away. Right? But you got to be intentional in that. Again, I appreciate mamas, appreciate all they do.
No doubt.
But here's the fact of the matter. A mama cannot teach a boy how to be a man.
Can't do it.
You can help, but you can't teach him how to be a man. There are things that your son gonna deal with. You don't know. You understand? And your son are going through puberty, having wet dreams, having girls flirt with him. To you, that's will always be your baby. Daddy goes, okay, let me sit down and talk to you, boy. Let me tell you what's going on here now. Tell you what's going on with your body. Let me tell you what you're doing. Let's be careful here now. You have to deal with these type of situations, man. You have to be there. So as Ash said, man, if you're watching tonight, it is inexcusable. Even if she's making it hard for you to see your kid, you gotta persevere. You gotta figure out a way. You're texting them, email, do something, man, with that child. Because what ends up happening is that child grows up resenting you, hating you, feeling like you never made an attempt. They don't know that you're trying to. All you got to do, man, you don't realize that effort will pay off.
Yeah, it will.
It really, really will pay off. I'm grateful that God allowed my days to spare on where I read a book by T.D. Jakes years ago called Emotions.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Chapter 7 of that book was called Finding the Fathers.
Right.
In that chapter, he asked a question. He said, have you ever thought maybe your father is the father he saw growing up? Right? That chapter changed my life. I read that chapter. I wrote my dad this long letter. I sealed the letter. I mailed it off. And in my mind, it was, I sealed it off. I said, listen, you gonna read it? I'm done. We ain't gotta talk to each other ever again. My mom called me and said, where you put the letter? I said, I can't tell you that. My dad went in the bathroom, read the letter, was in the bathroom for hours, locked in the bathroom reading the letter. Right? My dad, when finally told me, he told my mom, he said, I don't understand, after all I put him through, put y'all through, he could forgive me. He didn't know it wasn't about him no more, it was about me.
Yeah.
It was killing me.
Yeah.
And so when my wife when we started dating each other, I was dealing with unresolved issues, had anger and pressure points because of unresolved issues. So I had to figure out, listen, man, I'm going to ruin my future. Being tied down to my past. I got to deal with this matter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got to deal with this matter. So I did that. We started having conversations. I started asking him questions, started figuring things out. But I started realizing in that regard, man, that if I don't do this, what's going to happen is I'm going to continue through my son what happened.
Yeah.
And so now when I watch my dad and my son's relationship, I realized that if I hadn't forgiven my father, that wouldn't have been possible.
Right.
Right. But I also realized that I was probably a miserable husband my first couple years because I had so much pent up anger. I mean, I would snap like that, and to get in the pulpit like that never happened.
Wow.
Because the people expect me to be on 10 every time I'm in the pulpit.
Right.
So I knew how to dress and do the etiquette and the protocol and sit up right and preach good. And then get in the car with my wife, probably don't say nothing to her because I'm angry about something, don't know how to resolve issues. Right? So dealing with these things, all because I was angry about what I didn't have. And so I started going through this process of investigating, asking questions, spending time in that regard. And I started realizing, man, you're punishing your blessing.
Yeah.
Because of unresolved issues of your past. And sometimes what happens to some of our brothers now, man, there's some things have happened. Some neglect, some abuse has happened, unresolved. But also because nobody's giving them the freedom to actually express how they feel.
Yeah.
To say, man, I'm hurting, I'm angry, I'm mad.
And a lot of them don't have what we're doing here now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
When we used to come to the barbershop, we work out together.
Yeah.
So we have sessions where we could be working out, bro, and I'm talking about we'll get into a full-on conversation, turn the music off, and have men conversation, grown men conversation, and have therapy.
Right.
You have therapy sessions with each other.
Right.
But I don't know about you, one thing I didn't never want to fail at, I didn't want to fail at being a father.
Yes,
That's right,
sir.
bro. That's right, man.
I remember
did not-
sitting on the box. Me, EB, you,
all of us.
sitting on the box when I heard I was having a child, asking questions. Man, what about this? What is this?
man.
And I think a lot of guys, like you said, they don't have that. Cause so when Avery came, I was ready to ride.
Yeah, bro.
I was ready to ride. You know, so
We put a lot of stock, and again, this is Hollywood celebrity stuff, man, where people get accolades for how many kids they got, how many women they done smashed versus how many you taking care of. I ain't talking about like you sending them. I'm talking about you actually actively engaged. One of my partners from college, he him and his son's mom didn't work out, so he was actually taking care of his son, like giving money. Well, she decided it wasn't enough. She took him to court. Wanted to check him to court for child support. The judge asked her. She said, "You sure you want to do this?" "Yes, man, I want to do it." He ain't doing nothing. So he had kept all receipts, everything. "So you want to do this?" She said. The judge said, "Man, let me say something to you." She said, "Well, he's legally responsible for paying for your son, for your son. He's paying twice as much of that right now. So you only give him child support. He actually is paying you more."
right.
Know what he said? He said, "I ain't paying her nothing. I'm taking care of my son.
There you go.
Wow.
Take care of my son."
That's
right.
And I'll tell you, man, his son is now in his early 20s. But I'm proud of that brother, man, because even though they couldn't see eye to eye all the time, man, he never allowed anybody to water down what he would. He said, "Listen, I ain't paying child support. Take care of my child.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure my son has what he needs. I'm gonna make sure he knows I'm his father. I'm gonna be there for every single thing,
Yeah.
and no matter what, man, it's one of the great joys to go to my kids' PTA, go to trips, things of that nature, and be there and look around. And I'm trying to see more dads doing it, being there, man, being engaged, having conversation, not just at the football game, everything else, man. Because we matter.
Right.
We want to be there. Our kids want us to be there. They're happy to see us. Your daughter run into you, Daddy.
Yeah.
It's a feeling you never describe, bro.
Man. Oh yeah. Hey Rich, but I came up with something. I don't know, are we getting close to the time?
Oh man, we done shot the time.
Okay. Well, what I want to do, since it is coming up Father's Day weekend,
Yes, sir.
I got a good plug. I don't know who's watching. Right now, I'm gonna sponsor 2 Barbershop Talk shirts
Okay.
to the first 2 men
Okay.
that said Barbershop Talk. So we'll go back to the feed. We'll find, we might not find but what. But the first, I'm putting that out there. Y'all better call somebody and tell them to look on Barbershop Talk. The first 2 men that plug Barbershop Talk, put your shirt size or whatever, and I'm going to sponsor 2 Barbershop shirts that y'all can wear on merch day whenever we do merch day.
Right. And like you say, man, we want to do this for the simple fact, man, is to really shine a light on fathers.
Yeah.
Right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? We appreciate dads, man.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate and these brothers up here, man, are my friends, my brothers. I love them to death. Cause man, one thing about it is it's like iron sharpening iron.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, young fathers or young brothers, don't hang out with nobody that don't match what you do.
Yes, sir.
Say it, brother.
If Darrick want to take care of his family, his children, I ain't got nothing to say to him. You know what I'm saying? We lions about this, man.
Right.
That's it, bro.
And you cannot hang out with real men and be lagging behind.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a certain standard of, and I'm not just, but it's a certain standard of men. I know if we go, all us go to Applebee's tonight, we might be fighting over who's gonna pay the check. Because that's the standard of men that I keep myself around.
Let me say this, I'm gonna wrap up. Let me say this, man. To those who are watching, Ash said something to me a couple of years ago. For me, that was a great blessing, right? So, when you're pastoring and God blessing you in a major way and getting invitations, things of that nature. For me, man, when you say yes to something, I mean, you're saying no to doing something with your family. Ash and I were talking when he's having a normal conversation. And he said something to me that I want to share with y'all. He said, man, listen, he's like, bro, I don't run with everybody. And I ain't trying to. I ain't trying to hang around with everybody. He said, I'm cool with not being in the pastoral cruise. And when he said it, man, it was so therapeutic because for me, I was in that tug of war with saying yes to everybody, trying to be around them, and not trying to be friends, just trying to. I felt bad about saying no to things. But here's the fact of the matter, man. I've always been comfortable in my own skin, right? I found myself feeling like, okay, I need to broaden myself a little bit more. Problem with broadening is, man, I got nervous. Here's the thing: these people don't have my best interests at heart.
Right.
I'm saying that to the fathers out there, man, because the fact of the matter is, be careful about who you allow to pour in your life, to speak into your life. Because sometimes people give you, they call counsel, and it's destructive, and it'll destroy you and everything that's attached to you. So when he said that, man, I was like, you know what? Yeah. But what he don't know is the Lord used him because my wife had already said something. Be careful. I'm like, man, whatever. And he said, I'm like, okay, I hear you, Lord. It's confirmation. But when he said it was like, bro, listen, man. I don't need none of that.
Right.
I don't need none of that. I ain't trying to be nobody. No, I'm not none of that. And so I'm saying that as men, brother, we gotta be okay with being who we are. I'm saying that always talk about real men. Being okay with being a real dude, man. You ain't trying to be nobody. There's this new thing now with metrosexual. No, man, you gotta. It's okay because at the end of the day, man. People can sense out genuine people. I'm blessed to be able to talk to people in the streets. So I'm talking about real goons, right? They'll always say this to me. They say, Pastor, you know what I like about you? I say, what? Man, you just real. I ain't trying to be nobody else. I'm real, bro. Like it's gonna be what's gonna be. I may give you a verse. I may not give you a verse. We're gonna have a real conversation, right? They can see through that fake stuff.
Yes, sir.
And so when I said that, I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying, bro. And man, just bro. You don't need nobody. You don't need nobody else in your circle. Your circle is good.
Right.
That's it.
So be careful. Like I said, when you got quality fathers within your circle, man. Put it this way, and none of us have no We ain't got no book that we wrote on this.
Right.
Every things I have taken from other fathers say, you know what, Rich, you need to step up on this end.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, you work, but don't need to spend more time.
More time,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? My daughters, you know, both of them I love to death. They real honest like I am. And I remind my daughter something, what's your problem? And when she told me, I was like, okay, my bad. She like, well, Daddy, you asked. And so I told you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to say, well, you're right, babe.
Right.
You're right. How can I help you? Anything I can do? You need some Advils? Okay, I'll go get them. You know what I'm saying? My point was all that was, even though that ain't my thing,
Yeah, bro.
but I'm present.
Right.
I'm present. See, you got that you got a little while, but it's coming.
Boy.
You round the corner.
No.
Y'all take that back. You already there. So even as dads, we
Right,
gotta be there
right.
for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all that,
See
bro.
what I'm saying? That
But
you know
see, as a good father,
Yeah.
we already pre-planned on how that thing gonna go, how the wife gonna be on speed dial to be there.
All that, bro.
We already ready.
But see the thing about it, but she will value
Yeah.
you as a dad
Yeah.
so much because she understands that hey, you here for everything.
Everything, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not just here for the ceremony.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? I can remember, and I know I remember me and my son back when he was in elementary school. Man, we had a moment where some things weren't quite going the way we wanted to, and I can remember me and him crying in the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because things weren't going from the way I wanted them to go. I can remember that.
Yep.
We crying in the hallway in elementary school. You see what I'm saying? Those kind of things, are you there for?
Yeah.
Are you here for that? Your son, your kids
Yeah, man.
need to see you cry too.
Woo. Yeah.
I'm talking about not saying that you ain't supposed to be walking around every day. But I'm telling you,
Yeah.
knowing that, hey, you know what I'm
You got
saying?
some
Hey,
feelings too.
you know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
it hurt.
Yeah.
Certain things hurt. You know, or you in it with them.
Yeah.
Or when your son or your daughter or your son calls you and say, hey man, the girl that he liked or whatever things ain't going right, you got to be there to dad and tell him, hey son, it's gonna be all right.
Hey.
It's gonna be all right.
And I know for me, in the formative years with Avery, and we know, so now she have a little boy at school that like him, so you know the little boy, because he like him.
Yeah, keep it.
You know,
But he hit on her.
I said, what you telling me is, I don't like that. If you do it again, I'm going to go tell the teacher. And if after I tell her you do it again, I'm going to hit you back. But the best feeling in the world is when a 4 or 5-year-old come back to you and be like, Daddy, I did just what you told me to do. You know, and you, because what you say has power.
It matter, bro. It
It's
matter.
got power.
And one thing we would never, don't ever, and to the ladies that's on here, don't ever tear down that man.
Thank you, brother.
Don't
Say that.
ever tear down that father. He might not be. I'm talking about, we can keep it 100.
Yeah.
He might be, but don't you, it ain't on you to tear it down.
Yeah.
These kids will figure
They'll figure it
out
out.
everything.
Figure it out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do everything you can to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Put it this way, stand the olive branch again. I preached a message this past Sunday, cast out again.
Yeah.
Throw it out again.
Yeah.
I know he done let you down 1,000 times. Give him enough. Hey, I'm throwing out again. Come get your son.
Yeah.
Come get your daughter.
Right.
Spend some time with him. It don't take much. It don't take much. Take him to get some ice cream one day.
Yeah, just hang out with
Yeah, just hang out. You might not know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Every dad this don't come with no playbook.
Right.
Especially
Right.
if you didn't have
Okay.
male figures in your
In your
life.
life.
But you know what? You know how to do something.
Yeah.
Do something. Start with anything. I don't care if it's get a tank of gas, drive down to the coast, walk in the beach, put your feet in the water, put them back in. Them kids are asleep like it ain't on the bar,
Yes,
and
sir.
they'll be talking about, we went to the beach with my daddy.
my
Yes, sir.
daddy.
That's
With
it.
my daddy.
With
That's
my
it.
dad.
Yes.
It ain't cost you nothing but a tank of gas.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
It's them things I can remember, man, and I know we got to go, doing the simple stuff with my dad.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the money. I couldn't remember what I got for no Christmas gifts and all.
Right.
It was a simple thing, like
Yeah.
wrestling on the floor with my dad.
Right.
Playing bull and stuff. He be running us over and stuff like stuff like that. That didn't cost us nothing, but that was him being there.
Yeah.
Playing with my dad,
Yeah.
that's meant a whole lot. Or if he were going somewhere, Dad, can I go? Yeah, you
Yeah,
go.
come on.
Come on. Come on, get in the car.
I go, yeah.
Yeah, I can go.
deal.
Get in
Yeah.
there. And watching him shift the gears.
Yeah.
You're like, man, how
trying
you
to
doing
do it
all
yourself.
yeah,
You trying to
you doing all that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
those things are priceless, man. Them talks that you have with your daughter.
Do y'all, I'm serious on a daily basis. I'm strategically looking to make moments with my daughter every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't care if it's just, hey, come over and put the mayo on the sandwich for you. Take the knife and go across real, you know. They remember that. I took my daughter now. Of course, I tried to be respectful for the wife because she thought she was going to act up. But kids act different with fathers.
They do, bro.
So I said, you know, it's about time for Avery to get her ears pierced. And I know we gotta go. We keep saying that, but so I called my wife. I said,
Hey, Chris, we good?
we good.
Okay, all right, there you go.
And I asked her. I said, do you want to be here? Avery just out of the blue said she ready. She said, yeah, we was in the mall class.
There you go.
So we go in class. I said, are you sure you want to do this, man? She was like, yes, Dad. I said, man, I'm proud of you. Come on, let's fill out this paper. She sat in the chair. Lady did the dots, clicked the ear, click. She realized that it wasn't gonna hurt, and she just started laughing uncontrollably. And so the lady did the other one. And after that, my thing, I just started telling her how proud. I'm so proud of you. You stood in there, you made it. That goes beyond that chair.
Yeah, bro.
That goes
Yeah.
way down the road.
Man, talking to
It's a build-up.
Come on,
It's a
you
build-up.
know.
Yeah, that's called edifying, bro.
Yeah.
And then later on, like I asked you earlier, later on, when that young man approached her sideways, I gotta give you this story, man. Several years ago, I was in a mall with my wife. We were pregnant with my son. We was in a mall. We go to food court so she can walk around and sit down and eat. And I'm sitting, people watching. This young girl was walking down on the lower level. These boys are up top. And, you know, they had the dreadlocks back and things of that nature. And one boy said, hey, shorty. This girl stops. She looks up. He did his head like this. I watched this girl go up the escalator to this boy.
Wow.
And it was his boy and his homeboy. She's the only girl now. So I said, I wish my daughter would. I ain't got a daughter at this time. Then I thought, my wife said something. She said, but you don't know who in her life. Because that shouldn't have happened, but it happened. Right? Yep. So now, standards set a certain way. Number one, you ain't gonna stop for no hey shorty. No. That ain't my name.
No.
I definitely got to go to no escalator to come to you and your homeboys. But I'm watching this play out, and so when you realize, man, it's different. It's different. But as you said about your young youth that work for you, I can teach you if you want to learn. If you want to learn, I'm happy to invest in you. I'm happy to make it happen. Think about the men that work for you.
Yeah.
You giving them a paycheck.
Right.
You also helping them guys build something.
Yeah.
It's something we are designed, man. You go back to Old Testament days.
Yeah.
Adam had two jobs. Adam was a worshiper and he was a worker.
Yeah.
So men are in us. We are worshipers and we are workers.
Yeah.
Take a man's job from him. You take part of that man out of. Like he's designed to work.
Yes.
He's designed to worship. That's what's in us from the very beginning. So it's hard when a man ain't working. Like everything on the inside, tear that man down.
Yeah.
So now I told my wife this. What a man wants, if Ad go to work every day like he does, you go to work every day. What you want more than anything else is to come home and be affirmed by your wife and your family that your everyday grind is noticed.
Yes, sir. And appreciate it.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
They be out there saying how great they are. When you come home and your wife say, I'm so because of you.
Yeah.
Well, make your chest stand.
Because that's why you do. You do extra hours, overtime, all that for those inside your house. So you want somebody to say
Let me
they
tell you
see
something
you.
about my baby girl. She do this. I go out there and cut the grass, and I be coming back around the front of the yard.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she be standing out there with a thing of water. I said, girl, you gonna make a great wife. I said, she don't know how to cut 4 more yards. I said, but it shows that appreciation.
Appreciation, bro.
Dad, I appreciate it. Here you go, here's some water. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
But like you say, that is those things that as a father, that, you know, like again, I said this from the beginning. We're not trying to trump Mother's Day. We never will.
Never will.
Moms, hands down.
Yeah,
you know, mama's got it.
They got it.
But we done fell behind.
Yeah.
We done fell behind with what we do for our fathers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We done fell behind with the appreciation for that man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything now is set up, if you're not careful, if we're not being careful with society, is to tear down what a man's supposed to be.
Correct, bro. Correct.
See what I'm saying? Nobody don't want a man to stand up no more.
Yeah.
Nobody don't want you to take authority.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I work in a profession where when I come in the door, I gotta take over.
In the area.
I gotta own it.
Yeah.
So I'm naturally gonna come in and take authority.
Right.
And put things in order.
Yeah.
And now in society, it's been frowned upon that you are a person of authority.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's frowned upon now as you stand up and be the man. You know, I remember something as a kid I had never seen until recently. I remember when we went out to eat with my dad, when the waiter or waitress came back, they gave that black folder to my dad.
Yes.
Now
they stand and wait to see who
They
look.
they put in the middle. Let y'all fight over it. Yeah.
and I'll tell you, ladies, I'll teach you something. Even if you paying for the meal, get that folder to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get
Get
it.
him.
Because ladies, I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of y'all teaching these brothers halfway
Come
to
on,
be men now.
Come on,
And so listen to me.
Come on,
I know
bro.
you are. I know y'all are. Hey, don't give up on him.
Yes,
don't
sir.
give up on him. Get him around some other men so he sure enough get baptized in it. So
Right.
So what you saying? Because a lot of times our ladies be saying stuff.
Things up without opening their mouth.
But at the same time, sometimes it takes us in sessions like this to hear a man perspective on it, and then it kind of clicks. Because our homeboy done said it now. But your girl been telling you this the whole time. But it clicked now, and a good woman don't even say nothing.
Right.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
say he doing it now.
Yeah.
Because it is important for us men. We iron sharpen. We run stuff off each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I want to be a better businessman. Who I need to talk
Right.
to?
Yeah.
I need to talk to Chad.
Yeah.
I want some $50 words.
Yeah. We know right where to go.
I know right where to
We
go.
know
I
right
want to
where to
hang
go.
out with the governor. I want to know what fork to use.
Yes, sir.
I want to know, is this the butter knife? Do I supposed to eat
Carry on, brother.
Do I supposed to eat a roll?
Hey,
Hey, I want to be refined.
hey, he let me roll with everybody cutting that calories off. I'm eating that
So you have to be,
gotta be
but you can't get this. I felt something. You can't be in certain circles
Come on,
if you
bro.
don't have
Come
somebody
on.
there.
Come on, man.
Jonathan taught David how to be the king.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
David was a shepherd's boy.
Shepherd.
Yeah.
He knew how to be
Talk
grinding.
about it,
Yeah.
man. Talk
He
about
had a friend that taught him how to be king.
it. Yeah.
Because Jonathan was a prince.
Yeah. Yeah.
A man pouring into another one.
Yeah.
I don't miss
Good.
nothing. On the job, I give you everything I got.
Yeah.
Good.
Barbershop talk, we giving you everything
That's
we
good.
got.
Man, that's good.
Because we want to be able to pour in it that we can see now more fathers.
Yeah.
That's good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More men. Stop hanging out in the back.
Yeah.
Come up front.
Come up front.
Come up front. Stop hanging out in the back. Be who you supposed to be. Get up front.
Lead your people, man.
Get up
Lead
front
them.
and lead like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Your kids expect it.
Yeah.
Don't hang out in the back. That's your daddy. Get up front.
Yeah.
Front.
Get up front.
on, man.
Some of these sisters, y'all need to fall back.
Fall back.
Fall back. I know you can do it. I know y'all can plan faster than we can.
Yeah.
But do this for me. Hey. He gonna take care of
He
this.
got it.
He got it. Let him be the man, let him be the father he's supposed to be.
Lead.
Like you're supposed to do.
Lead.
And then encourage him to do it. Then when he hang out more like brothers like us, and they don't encourage you to be a better
That
father.
confidence.
There you
You
go.
build the confidence.
There you
You
go.
know
You see what I'm
you're learning
saying?
again.
You're learning that, you know what?
Yeah.
I need to do this. I need to stand, I need to be able to speak for myself.
That's right.
I need to be able to talk for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to, I need to know what my kids are going through. I need to go to some doctor's appointment sometime.
Yeah.
I need to know what's happening.
Yep.
Because I'm not just a pair of britches legs, a pair of pants
Right.
that's hanging
Right.
up around here.
Right.
You need to be present in these kids' lives because our children need it like never before, man.
Yeah.
They would not be joining all these gangs if a daddy there.
Yeah.
Why you think they in a family? Why you think they got some kind of family in this game?
Some structure,
Yeah,
some
structure. They got
hierarchy.
aunt. They got aunt. They look
Yeah,
up to.
yeah.
All this stuff because it ain't no dad in their life.
Yeah.
I was taught this, man, and I believe it wholeheartedly. If you hustle and your kid doing the same thing you doing, you fail.
Yeah, bro.
You ain't no real
That's
hustler.
good, man. That's good.
If he doing the same thing you doing, you fail. You ain't no real hustler.
That's good.
Wow.
If you hustle, you ought to be done it well enough. Your child ain't got to do it. You ought to be done this to get your kids up out of this mess.
Yeah.
Not for them to see you kids doing the same, making the same mistakes you did. I told my son, hey, my mistakes. I ain't never hid the fact, his age and how long I've been married don't add up. And I'm not saying there's no embarrassment, but I ain't let no church thing. We ain't play like we were down there. No, I'm real with it.
That's right.
But my son know he ain't never been without me.
Yeah.
From the time he was little, ain't never been what I wasn't there.
Yeah.
When me and his mama wasn't together, I ain't never not been in his life.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I flew to Miami, I brought something with me for my son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never came to empty-handed. Never did it because I pride myself on being a father.
There you go, bro.
You see what I'm saying? That I would never, like Darrick said, and I believe this wholehearted, and every man, it ought to hit you. I would never have had anybody
Nobody else.
get called daddy,
No, sir.
and that's my child.
No, sir.
It ought to slap the taste out your mouth to have your child credit somebody else for being their daddy. Woo! Like when Shaq talking about his dad
Yeah.
and the biological dude,
Right.
dude that you should not even want to show your face.
I'm
Right.
trying to tell you, bro.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
And not because all of us know Shaq's name.
Yeah.
It ought to be because that's your child.
Your child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, boy. Hey, well, y'all got it tonight. Y'all got the $50 words, the little lay person word, and the other pastor word.
The truth. The truth.
Oh yeah. But hey, we appreciate you all joining us. Continue to follow us. We're gonna keep, now that things are starting to loosen up, we're gonna bring in some guest host, man. We appreciate you coming out
honored,
tonight.
bro.
Yeah, man.
We're so glad to have you,
Appreciate it,
man.
man.
And we just want y'all to continue to follow us. Continue, man. We try to talk about stuff that's gonna affect our community. So please tell people about it. They may not be able to watch it the night of, but share the video, pass it out there. I think last time we had about 1,300 views, 12 to 1,300 views on the show after the fact.
That's right. There you
After
go.
the fact. So even if you miss us on the night that we show, tell people about us. Follow Barbershop Talk. We're gonna keep stellar hosts coming in, and we're gonna keep this thing rocking, man. For real.
That's it.
Hey, go ahead and tell them like you always tell them.
Hey man, it's just another day.
Yes, sir.
And to my fathers out there, man, to all y'all, we salute you, man.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate
100%.
you, man. Hey,
100%.
when it's a thankless position, sometimes it go without notice, but we want to tell you, man, thank you for all the dads out there,
Yes,
man.
sir.
All those who adopted, those who are helping raising someone else's kids, man. Those uncles, those that are impacting our kids' lives, man, that are fathers. It is not gonna go without notice.
Yes, sir.
It might not get all the fanfare.
Right.
You might get a raggedy T-shirt, something, or whatever it might be.
The shirt and tie.
Yeah,
set.
shirt and
Right,
tie set,
right,
but you don't even want to
right,
wear it,
right.
but you got to put it on because they bought it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and we want to say appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
If the world and if people don't talk about fathers and we done glossed over it, we want to make sure, man, we in a barbershop tonight, and I'm telling you, I can remember is spending time in the barbershop with my dad, and you know what I'm saying, going to Monolithics, and Jeremiah, and Silas, and Mr. Bennett, you know what I'm saying? I remember all that as a kid, you know what I'm saying, hanging out in the barbershop all Saturday with my dad, man. Those kind of things, man, are now have formed me to be the man I can be today. So, hey, every dad on here, man, like we say, we appreciate you, man. Those of you that, hey, like we have talked about it, man. Don't stop trying to be any kids' life, man. I don't care if you got to do a show up at the daycare and just put your head over the fence and let them just see you. That does something for that, man. That does something for that kid to know that their dad is there. That does something that, man, money can't buy.
Yes, sir.
Money can't buy. So again, Barbershop Talk Live. Hey, like it, share it. Share it with someone else, man. And again, in advance, happy Father's Day to y'all brothers, man.
Thank you, brother. You
happy
too, man.
Father's Day, man. And hey, we out of here.
We out.
We gone, cause I'm hungry. And to these jokers with the pink shirts.
Hey, look. Real men with pink, baby.
Right, brother? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Again, man, we appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Bless y'all. And we'll get back with y'all sometime then with Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Yes,
and
sir.
where we at now? Greatness.
Greatness on 90.
On 90. Highway 90. Hey, y'all come see see my boy Chris. Appreciate him letting us in here,
Thank you,
man.
Chris. Appreciate
So
you, bro.
again, till we meet again, y'all be blessed. We out of here. Peace.
Yes, sir. Chris, you hung out with us, man.